What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ and today we're back with another vehicle. We have the all-new 2023 Lexus ES300h F-Sport handling. It's a long name, I know, but it's a very good car, good gas mileage, luxury for sure. But this is going to be the in-depth review. Going to be a little bit of a longer video. We have 2 more videos coming after this. 5 things to improve, 5 things we love. So those are the 2 coming. Without further ado, let's start with the exterior, work to the interior, and then we will finish with a drive. Let's roll. Starting right up front, we have nice LED running lamps, and these are the upgraded $1,215 triple beam LED headlamps. Super nice, very bright, so I think it's worth the upgrade, but hey, it's up to you to decide if you're going to spec this vehicle. This is the F-Sport handling, not just the design. So this does have a little bit different of suspension. It's tuned differently. And right here, obviously you can see the difference in the grille. Very sporty looking, looks really nice. These little vents right here, you can see, it looks like this might be functional right on the outside edge, maybe just that strip. The rest, not so much, just fake for design. Moving away, little details are nice, like up in the headlamp you can see it says Lexus right there. I like that. And then the wheels on this vehicle in the front you can see are painted black. That's part of the F-Sport handling package. 235/40/19s, so that is your front. Obviously you can see the F-Sport badge there. It does have power folding mirrors. Right now the car is running. Obviously it's a hybrid, so you don't hear it. But when you lock the door, the mirrors will fold if you choose to have that setting on. Blind spot monitoring, as you can see on the mirror there. Moving to the door handle, you have the lock and unlock feature on both doors. Always a fan of that. You guys know that watch my channel. Moving down to the rear tire, 235/40/19s. Again, same size as the fronts. Gas tank is on this side. It is a 13.2 gallon tank, which is good for the gas mileage on this vehicle, which we'll discuss once we go on the drive. Moving around to the back, you can see it has the ES300h right there. It is front wheel drive, as we'll discuss further. Underneath, well, first we'll say right there is the camera. Underneath, there is a button to pop the trunk, or you can also you can get a power trunk, which this one has, and you can also just kick your feet underneath it and it will pop up. As we take a look inside the trunk, you have a nice little first aid kit there. It is Velcro, so it literally will like lift up the whole thing to get to the battery. You can also peel this off Velcro and you can stick it wherever you want it. It's nice because it doesn't go sliding around everywhere. On this side, you can lift up this flap. You do have like a little compartment right there. I don't know what you're gonna put there, something small, but still something. Lift this up and you can see your access here It does have a good sized trunk. I will say the seats do not fold down, but you do have that little cubby hole, as you can see right there in the middle. As mentioned, this does have the $550 power trunk, so you just press the button and down it goes. For me, that's worth the money. It's really a nice feature. And on the passenger side, obviously nothing different than what we've already gone over. So let's go ahead, let's jump in the vehicle, talk about the interior, and then we'll get it on the road. Starting with the back seat. So I'm 5'9", for those of you that are new to the channel. Let's see what it's like to get in and out of this vehicle. As you know, I do this test on every vehicle because I think that's very important and so many people don't. So getting in and out, trying to hold this camera as level as possible, getting in, straight down. So see, I'm already hitting my head, that was natural. So you do got to duck down just a little bit, not much, just a little bit. All right, now we're inside. Let's go ahead and shut the door here. So the headroom is pretty good. I would say there's about 3 inches above me. And then my leg room, my seat is exactly where I sit. And if we bring it around right here, you'll be able to see there's like a ton, like my hand all the way stretched out cannot touch the seat. So there is plenty of leg room. So even if you slouch, because I'm sitting like straight up, like if you slouch like this just a little bit, then all of a sudden you've got 5-6 inches of headroom in this thing. So it's kind of how you sit, but the seats are comfortable. Right here in the middle, you do have this little guy, pulls down. It's the little thing you can see from the trunk. Right here, lift that up. You've got cup holders, shut it. Yeah, so kind of standard. Not every vehicle has it, but many do, but it is nice. And then down below, you will notice right here, you've got 3 different charging sources. So yeah, if that's what you need, it's nice that they do supply that. And then here you do have air vents, which also nice to have in the back, obviously. The interior of this car does come in 3 different color options. You can go with this, I believe it's called Circuit Red, which is black and red, or you can go all black. And then the last one, which is also very nice, is a white with black, which is super nice. But all of the touches back here are super nice, classy, just high quality. And then like this look, it's like brushed aluminum basically, and it looks killer in my opinion. I love the look of that. And you can see there the further the red, and you have some piano black here. You just have to be careful not to scratch this area, but it looks super good. And the back of the seat, you do have a little tray right here. It's basically hard, so it basically helps protect the seat as well, so that's also nice. That's going to sum up the back seat. Let's jump into the front. And that was very natural for me. I didn't do anything different than, like, I didn't squat down extra or anything. It was perfect. So very easy to get in and out of the front seat. Assuming you're around the 5'9" mark, I probably had a little bit of room. I can't see the camera as I'm getting in, so you guys will see kind of probably the distance between my head and the top. So easy to get in and out of. I always like that about a luxury vehicle. Makes it much easier. All right, let's go over the front and inside here. So let's start with the POV, basically from what you see from where you're sitting. So this camera is right in front of my face. If I look to the left, those are your mirrors. I think they're a pretty good size. I don't have any issues with that. If you go to look around to check your blind spot, you can see there is a pillar obviously, but it's not too bad because you can see straight through the back window. Looking down, that's your steering wheel. You can see the dash up in there. And then I don't know if you can or can't see it, but there is a heads-up display out there. Yeah, you can see it faintly, I believe. All right, continuing over to the right, you have your mirror right there. Further over, this is basically what you're seeing whenever you're trying to change lanes. So that is your POV in this car. Looking down, you've got a wireless phone charger right here placed very nicely. It's in a perfect spot in my opinion. And now let's start left to right, talking about all the different buttons in this vehicle. So you do have, as you can see there, memory seating. There are 3 settings. Working our way down, the switches are even really nice. They have a nice little edge to them. which is nice. I love the detail. The attention to detail by Lexus is always next level in my opinion. Lock and unlock up there, and then all of your mirror controls that you could ever want. Up here is for your heads-up display. You just press that once and it'll turn it off. So that's up to you whether you want it on or off. On the stock, there is your automatic high beam headlights. It's right here. You just press that on the end. Everything else is all of your light controls, obviously, on the stock. Left side of the steering wheel, you have your volume, answerer slash hang up, and then this is your different menus that you can go through up here. Also, to note, this button right here, if you press that, right there, the whole circle moves. Kind of a cool little party trick, but yeah, you've got different things you can go through, different menus, all that good stuff. But yeah, right side of the steering wheel, you can see obviously right there is every other option that you would expect. You have your seeking track, you have lane centering, you've got your basically your distance for your adaptive cruise control, how far or close you want to, you know, follow to the car in front of you. Cruise control on, cancel, and then set and resume. So yeah, pretty normal stuff there. Continuing up, right here are your different drive modes, the little knob on the top right there. You can see exactly what they are: Eco, Normal / Custom, Sport, and Sport Plus. So you can change through all those. It'll also change your gauges as to how they look. So like if I go up, that's Sport, and that's Sport Plus. And then you can go to Normal, and Eco basically is basically the same. You can see where Eco just pops in on the bottom right there. Notice here a really nice big screen. It's a 12.2 inch screen, I believe, 12.2 or 12.3. Super nice, very responsive. You touch it, it goes to wherever you're going. So I have no complaint. Lexus, Toyota in general, the new stuff is absolutely great. It's very up to date. I know that's a big concern previously, was they were kind of outdated. Well, no longer, ladies and gentlemen. They are definitely caught up to the times, and honestly kind of leading times now. So great job by Lexus on that. You can see 2 air vents there moving down, all of your AC, heat related climate controls you could ever want, your power, your heated mirrors and heated back window. And then you can see a few radio buttons down at the bottom. This is actually a dual knob. The top, basically front knob, if you will, is for your volume. The bottom one is for tuning. So yeah, kind of a neat little knob there. You can see the push to start right there. Moving further down below, you will see these buttons here. You've got heated and cooled seats along with a heated steering wheel. 2 variable options for the heated steering wheel and 3 for the heated and cooled seats. You can kind of see the difference right there between heated and cooled. Heated is on the right, cooled's over here. You can see these are yellow and this is green. I don't know how well it'll turn out on camera, but yeah, it's different colors. Just right in front of the gear selector, you do have this little hidden compartment right there. You've got 2 different charging ports, which is also really nice. Moving down, very nice shift knob. It feels very sporty. I love how it feels in your hand. It fits perfectly. It's ergonomically correct. Very nice. You do have an EV mode that you can click and keep it in EV to where it's just battery. Obviously, you have to stay under a certain mile per hour. I believe that's 15 or 20 miles an hour, but for those of you that know that, feel free to comment below. I know it's one of the 2. Then right there, we've already mentioned the wireless phone charger in a perfect spot. Now, as we talked about this, for the Lexus, it does have a dual opening center console. Opens from both sides, and that's kind of becoming standard, I believe, in many Lexuses, so that's a nice touch. And then again, look at this interior. It looks so good. Even in the headrest, you've got F Sport in there. You can see it. Super nice touch. Alrighty, moving up to the mirror, you do have your home link. It's underneath 3 buttons right there. Your auto dimming mirror you can press. The side mirrors are also auto dimming, both of them at night, which is super nice to have auto dimming. Up here you will notice a sunroof, as you can see right there. It is not panoramic. It's not an option from my knowledge. Maybe in future years, could be engineering related, not sure. But that's what you have for now, just a sunroof, which for me, I am perfectly fine with that, but just giving you guys all the facts for what you may or may not want. I think we have discussed pretty much everything in the inside of this vehicle. I think it's time for us to prepare to get it out onto the road and talk about how it drives, some of the stats, figures, all that stuff. We're not going to go through every option menu on the main screen. You guys need to just get your hands on one, drive one, if that's what you want to go through. We'd be here for 40 minutes if we went through every option and all the customability you can do in this vehicle. So let's get out on the road. Before we get out on the road, let's go through some of the very quick stats and figures on this vehicle. So this vehicle has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder inline 4-cylinder, and it's pushing around 215 horsepower. As previously mentioned, it has a 13.2 gallon tank, and you're gonna get 43 city, 44 highway, and your overall average is gonna be about 44 miles to the gallon. So that leads to the 0 to 60 to kind of give you an idea. And the 0 to 60 is right around 8.1. So those are some of the very quick stats and figures and things that you guys may want to know. The other thing is the transmission is a CVT. So you basically never feel any shifting. I know plenty of you have experience with that now. And some of you maybe don't love that, but it works out really well because in luxury, you don't want to feel shifting. You don't want to hear road noise. You want everything to be smooth, quiet, and that's what this vehicle does. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on to the road. We have made it onto the road in the 2023 Lexus ES300h F Sport handling. And the F Sport, I absolutely love the design. I love the look of it. I think it looks outstanding personally. I have not had the chance to drive just the design to really know the difference in feel of suspension yet, to know, is it really worth getting the handling? I don't know, so I'm not going to speak on that. But what I will tell you is this car, even with this, because some people may have a fear that if they were to get this package, it's too stiff. You may feel the bumps. Well, I'll be honest, it's better than probably 95% of all other cars out there as far as like handling and suspension, even comfort wise, like going over bumps and all of that type of stuff. Very comfortable to be behind the wheel. And pairing with that is the glass. Having the acoustic glass in the Lexus just makes it so quiet. Like honestly, you can hear a little bit of tire noise, a little bit. Not much. It's way better than most vehicles. And the road noise, like as far as like other cars driving by, wind noise, virtually none. I'm gonna be honest, virtually none. I mean, it is super quiet. And then, as I've already mentioned, this does have the CVT, so you don't hear the transmission shift. You don't feel it shift. It's just smooth. That's all there is really to it. And that's, to me, that's what I'm looking for in a luxury vehicle for sure. And this really fits the bill. And this is one of the vehicles that honestly may be the contender for my wife's next vehicle, because she's a traveling nurse, she drives a lot, and this might just fit the bill perfect. This particular spec comes in at around $53,000, and while that's not cheap, you get what you pay for, and this does not feel cheap. It drives very well. And while we're talking about comfort, the seats are very comfortable. Now, they do hug you just a little bit, but when you're talking about this car, I think it's perfect because, again, it's the F Sport handling. I want it to still feel a little bit sporty along with having the luxury. So for me, I think it's absolutely perfect. For you, if you're maybe a bigger person, maybe don't get the F Sport because the seats do hug you just slightly. It's not a lot, but it is slightly, and it may, over a 3, 4, 5 hour trip, get a little bit uncomfortable just for you. But anyone my size, around my size, you're gonna absolutely love the seats because they have just the right amount of plushness. And you guys know that I like the seats to be a little bit plush, but not too much, and Lexus always does an outstanding job in my opinion. One of the questions that I often see, especially for hybrids, and obviously important in a hybrid, is gas mileage. And one of the things that people ask pretty frequently is, does it get the gas mileage they claim that it can get? And I've driven this car about 75 to 100 miles in that range so far, many of it being freeway, but also some city. And yes, I've gotten the gas mileage. Now, with a ton of city, I was getting about 39 to 41, which is maybe a gallon or 1.5 miles off, roughly. But on the highway, it's actually, to me, a little bit above it. I'm getting about 45. So averaging out, I mean, it's pretty much dead on their number. So this car actually does live up to what Lexus says it does. Suspension on this vehicle, like we've already touched on, as far as comfort, is great. As far as turning, it's pretty responsive as well. Now, again, compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. If you compare it to a crazy sports car, it's a little slow in response, but if you compare it to the average four-door sedan, it does extremely well. I mean, really well. that's as good as I can put. I mean, it does really well. I mean, there's not too much lag, just a little bit, and it holds pretty well. I don't really feel any body roll in the turns or anything like that, as you'd kind of expect. I mean, I don't know what you would expect, but I don't expect a lot of body roll, and I don't get it. The one thing on the sportiness of it, while it looks amazing, obviously a 0 to 60 of around 8.1, it could be improved upon. I think everyone knows that. I think even Lexus knows that, to be honest. But you're getting a car that gets 44 miles to the gallon, so kind of hard to be upset with a 0 to 60 of 8.1 because the gas mileage is great. I'm very happy with this car. Again, Lexus has just not disappointed me yet. With all of the Lexuses I've had, the quality on the interior has been perfect. The fit finish has been perfect. The attention to detail by Lexus is what is just mind-blowing. And like, here's what I'll say. Toyota is amazing, but if you can't justify, even though some of the Camrys and stuff like that may have the same features, I will tell you, go drive a Lexus. Because the feeling of driving this car and how smooth and how quiet it is, while Camry is outstanding, the Lexus is just a whole nother level. And you're never gonna understand that by watching this video, other than me telling you, go drive one. Seriously, go to your dealer. If you can't justify $5,000 to $10,000 difference, depending on the spec and what you order, all that stuff, but $5,000 to $10,000 difference, roughly, then just go drive it. And if it's not that important to you and you don't care about having road noise and the bumps not being as smooth, then it's probably not worth it to you. Probably just get the Camry. But like for me, I think it's really important, and this is coming from an exotic car owner and a sports car guy who owns the roughest rides in the world. And I can tell you, the more and more I drive these things, I'm like, man, I need to get one. So, and again, so you guys know, I don't get paid for these videos like buy a Lexus. Like, they just tell me, hey, review the car, tell your honest opinion, and that's it. YouTube's the one that paid me. So whether I say this car is not good or it is great, I'm not being paid for that. So I'm just being genuine and honest with you guys from my experience. So the next video on this vehicle is going to be 5 things to improve. Always going to be improvement. And 5 things to love. Those are the next 2 videos. So be sure to stay tuned. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Please like, please subscribe. Peace.